Welcome to Therapy Inspired. As therapists, we have a unique view of the world. We hold space for grief and trauma, yet we also witness resilience and healing, all while being humans ourselves. We hope to share helpful psychoeducational insights from our world as psychotherapists in and out of the therapy room. And while we'll be talking about things therapy related, listening and engaging in this podcast doesn't equate a client therapist relationship. And though we might be using insights from our work with various clinical issues, we don't reference specific cases.
Hi, I'm Camila Osman. I'm a registered social worker and a psychotherapist. I have a practice in Bowmanville where I see in-person clients and I do virtual therapy throughout Ontario.
Hi, my name is Darby Crosby. I'm the owner of Crosby Counseling and Wellness, where I offer virtual counseling to individuals, couples, and families throughout Ontario. Today, we're going to be talking about finding balance amid family drama and year-end burnout, because this is the season for lots of stressors. As the year comes to a close, we start to think about what have we accomplished, what did we want to do that we didn't get a chance to do, which brings in lots of sort of tension and stress. Also, sometimes hanging out with our family members can also be very stressful, so we can get overwhelmed very, very easily. So it's really important that we find ways to be able to find those balance, navigate this season with grace and resilience.
No holiday, no family gathering, or end of year project, or when we look back at the end of year is going to be perfect. So, an important piece to keep in mind at this time of year is to set realistic expectations. Focus on what actually matters to you, whether that's connection, a sense of gratitude, if that's what you're feeling, shared experiences. Find that meaningful piece that sticks out to you rather than aiming for perfection. A while ago, we did an episode all about perfection. If you find this is a stumbling block for you, I encourage you to go back and look at that. Perfection can really pull us into a sense of lacking, a sense of not being able to be present because we're so caught up in stress of things aren't going the way we want to. So, an example would be instead of cooking a 5-course meal or setting up those unrealistic expectations of I need to do X, Y, and Z, do a potluck style dinner. Share the workload and let everyone contribute. The same goes for any end of year task that you want to get done. Prioritize the things that are really matter to you, the essentials, and let go of non-urgent tasks.
And also, we need to prioritize self-care. I know we talk a lot on this podcast about self-care, but that's crucial. If we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of anybody else? So I know it's busy trying to get things all organized, buying presents, gifts, preparing meals and everything else, but we still need to be able to take care of ourselves. So take a 5 or a 10-minute break of quiet time just to sort of allow yourself to come down and be a little bit more relaxed and not so chaotic. You have to maintain your routine of whether it's exercise, meditation, and reading, because those are the things that ground us and create that calmness within ourselves. We also need to feel free to say no. I know this is the holiday season. We're supposed to be nice and kind, but if I'm preparing a 35 meal of 30 dinner for 35 people, I can't take on anything else. So it is okay for me to say no. And also, we need to look at our health and our feelings of burnout. Like, are we fatigued all the time? Are we irritable? Do we have a sense of sort of not being connected to anybody? Then we need to address these early on, slow down, and take care of ourselves, because then things are going to be better at the event.
As you mentioned, events, Darby, family gatherings is something that can be really loaded at this time of year. As much as we want connections, sometimes navigating family gatherings can be a bit of a minefield, whether it's old patterns or regression that it brings out, adverse childhood experiences, or past disagreements and misunderstandings that come forward. It can be helpful to approach these situations with clear boundaries and a calm mindset. So, some practical tools on that front maybe to think about what are some of those tricky situations and prepare your responses. Feel grounded, whether that's in your boundaries or how you want to navigate this particular thing that you notice comes up at these types of gathering. It may be, with that aunt or that uncle that may makes these comments or touches on these topics you don't want to address, rehearse your neutral responses or your assertive responses so you feel more confident and prepared and you're not getting caught in that fight or flight response, that dysregulation when that situation comes up. You may also want to work at practicing empathy, remembering that everyone is experiencing their own challenges or navigating their own experience, even if they're not, expressing them clearly, to see if you can give the benefit of the doubt where it's due, give some grace, and then maintain that boundary. So you can still give grace and have boundaries. It's not about being passive, but recognizing that's something going on for them, and it's not about you. Do what you need to keep yourself in a space of wellness as you navigate those events. And then coming back to boundaries, if a conversation becomes too heated, making sure that you're setting that boundary and using your assertiveness skills to make sure that you're honoring your needs and wants as you're trying to be empathetic or kind to other people. That might be, I need a moment to step away. It might be, I'm not okay talking about that right now, or I'd rather not get into that. There's different ways of setting boundaries. And then, last but not least, with boundaries, stepping away if you need to gives a clear message. So sometimes we might explain our why, like we've talked about in past episodes where we touch on boundaries. And other times it might be we're just kind of embodying the consequence of the boundary.
And the next thing we need to also look at is the managing the year-end sort of responsibilities. Like we make such a large deal about going from one year to another year, and have we accomplished, have we done all the things that we need to do? Shopping for the holidays, prioritizing, things to do with the kids because they're at home. What do we need to do in order to be able to manage those things in a way that's not going to feel too stressful for us? So we can certainly make a to-do list and prioritize the things that we need to do and go through them one at a time. We can delegate where possible. Other people are in your family, they can do things as well. Coworkers can also support you in different ways. Using time blocking to manage your schedule to prevent last-minute scrambles is really important. So time blocking is blocking out a period of time to do a certain number of tasks. And that can be really helpful in terms of getting you to get through everything and staying focused during those time blocks. Also accept that it's okay that things aren't going to get done, or you're going to forget something. Maybe the cranberry sauce, and we'll maybe get upset with ourselves because that was so obvious. But the rest of the meal is going to be fine without the cranberry sauce. The rest of the time is going to be really fun with family. And try to focus on that and not try and make everything, as Camilla said earlier, perfect. Just focus on what's truly, truly essential.
The other suggestion I would say is to see in all of that, where can you find those moments of joy? And I'd also say self-compassion, because sometimes we focus so much so on the joy, that this is the season of joy, that we feel pressure around needing to live in that joy. And it filters back into the perfectionism that can come up, or perfectionist traits. And so the self-compassion is just as important as the joy. Amid that chaos, where can you be mindful and savor that joy? What are those small, meaningful ways to reconnect with that spirit and counteract burnout? And I'll name some suggestions for that. But as I say that, I'd say also being mindful of moments where you don't feel like that. Can you give yourself grace? It is a hard time of year. There are a lot of pressures. As we talk about setting boundaries and family and all of these other pieces that need self-care, there's a reason for that. So that self-validation, that being gentle with yourself encompasses that self-compassion. You don't always have to live in the joy, but some ways of practicing that might be watching a favorite holiday movie or doing a favorite holiday activity, spend time outdoors, do traditions that you enjoy, write notes or cards, make some paper cutout snowflakes, whatever is something that's meaningful to you that does, in fact, enhance that feeling of joy. And try to be mindful with it. That mindfulness is being present, letting go of judgment, seeing if you can bring your senses to that experience instead of worrying about what's next or what else is on your to-do list, to really just be present with that joy. And not, like I said, it goes the same way for that grace as well. And you can also treat yourself to a small reward, whatever it is that you accomplish. If it is the accomplishment is I'm going to give myself grace and just watch some movies tonight rather than tackling the to-do list, then that might be the reward itself. Or it might be after I, go out for this walk and I'm proud of myself for getting some fresh air, I'm going to then come in and have some hot chocolate or something that, speaks to me, a good cup of coffee.
Yum, hot chocolate. That's always really good at this time of year. Also, we want to take some time to reflect on the highs and the lows of the year. Celebrate your wins, learn from the challenges, and set your intentions for the year ahead. Recharging doesn't necessarily mean we have to wait till January. Like, we can recharge right now. We can recharge a little bit every month, because we do need to be able to have the freedom to decide what direction we're going in. What tasks are we going to accomplish? So some ideas for reflecting and recharging can be things like exercising, going for a walk like Camilla mentioned earlier, writing down 3 things that you're really proud of that you did this year or this month even, and then plan things for post-holiday, right? Because we spend so much time getting ready for the holiday that the time afterwards feels somewhat anticlimactic. So we need to be able to have that sort of level throughout the time. Be able to take some time for yourself after the chaos of the holiday season. Journaling, meditations, gratitude journals, all of these things can be really helpful in order to get you to reflect on your strengths, your resilience, your abilities to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish.
As you navigate the end of year, remember to extend kindness to others and to yourself. Balance is about giving yourself permission to rest while still celebrating the meaningful moments. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow and adapt. Take time to reflect and recharge as you move into this new year with renewed energy. You've got this.
What are your favorite ways to find balance and combat burnout at the end of the year? What do you find is really helpful for you? You can share your thoughts in the comments below, and maybe your idea will give somebody a new opportunity to achieve something different. So let's support each other and let's finish this year really, really strong. Happy holidays. Thanks for visiting, and we'll see you next time.